Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to go ahead and call the meeting to order. According to the official clock, it is 7 o'clock. If you will, please stand for the invocation and the Pledge of Allegiance. I'm going to ask Councilman Scott if he'll lead us in the invocation.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we come to you tonight, Lord, as humble citizens of this great community we live in and serve in, Father. We ask that you help bless us to make the proper decisions to support the community and the people that live here. Father, we lift up those that are sick tonight, Lord, that you'll just be a special hand on them and keep them safe. Be with our mayor, safe travels here, Lord. Just pray, Lord, that you'll keep our community safe throughout this weekend as we have a very nice festival in town. And all those that visit here will find something nice and attractive about our area. We ask all this in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. If you would please face the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Councilman, you have the agenda before you. Are there any amendments or changes? I do have one. We're going to add a closed session pursuant to General Statute 143.318-11A5 to discuss a personnel matter. Are there any other changes?
I make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Moving down the agenda, we have a special presentation tonight. And I'm going to ask Joseph Atkinson to please come forward. We're going to administer the oath of office. Well, even before you do that, I want to welcome you. I want to thank you. We first want to thank you for your service to our community.
Thank you.
I think it is an incredible thing to put on a uniform every day and go out and serve and protect the citizens you're called to, and I appreciate it.
Thank you.
If you will, repeat after me, and I'll try to make it easy for you. I, Joseph Atkinson,
I, Joseph Atkinson,
do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support the Constitution
do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support the Constitution
of the United States,
of the United States,
that I will faithfully and bear true allegiance
that I will faithfully and bear true allegiance
to the state of North Carolina
to the state of North Carolina
and to the constitutional powers and authorities
and to the constitutional powers and authorities
which are
or
may be established
may be established
for the government thereof,
for the government thereof,
that I will endeavor to support
that I will endeavor to support,
and maintain and defend
maintain, and defend
the Constitution of said state,
the Constitution of said state,
not inconsistent with
not inconsistent with
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the United States,
that I will be alert and vigilant
that I will be alert and vigilant
to enforce the criminal laws of this state,
to enforce the criminal laws of this state,
that I will not be influenced
that I will not be influenced
in any manner
in any manner
on account of personal bias
on account of personal bias
or prejudice,
or prejudice,
and that I will faithfully and impartially
and that I will faithfully and impartially
execute the duties
execute the duties
of my office
of my office
as a law enforcement officer
as a law enforcement officer
according to the best of my skill, abilities, and judgment.
according to the best of my skill, abilities, and judgment.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations. And if you will, can we take a minute, and you've got, who is this lovely lady with you?
This is my fiancee, Brooklyn Farish. She's a 5th grade teacher at Smithfield. And this little prize right here is Braxton. He will be 2 months old on the 7th.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Congratulations
Thank
to
you.
all of you.
Thank you.
Thanks again. Does he need to sign something? What do we got to do now?
Welcome. Thank you.
She did it twice.
Welcome aboard.
It just says chief
Thank
of police.
Does it really?
Come on board.
I'll fix it.
Oh, here, just fix it and I'll get him tomorrow.
I'll fix it. I'm gonna buy your office.
And then we'll get him to sign it.
My God.
For your benefit, the mayor is running a little bit late, but he will be here tonight. That's why I'm filling in his temporary absence. Moving along the agenda, we now have a public hearing. Is there anyone here that wants to speak on behalf of the matter that's come before public hearing? If you wish to speak, you're going to have to stand and be sworn by the clerk.
In case you want to speak, go ahead and stand, please.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you.
Do we have a motion to open public hearing?
Make a motion to open public hearing.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. The public hearing is now open, and we're coming for hearing on conditional use permit request CUP 17-04 for ample storage. The applicant is requesting a conditional use permit to allow for a mini storage facility on a 4.31 acre tract of land located within a B3 zoning district. The property considered for approval is located on the west side of US Highway 70 Business, approximately 100 feet south of its intersection with Wilson Mills Road. Property is further identified, Johnson County Tax ID 1507711C and a portion of 15078199K. I will turn it over to Mr. Embler.
Gentlemen, let me orient you to the location of the property. This is US Highway 70 West. This is the Exxon gas station that's located on the corner. This is the Food Line Shopping Center. And this is the old Wendy's that you see right here in the old aerial photograph. And we're basically talking about this property outlined in red right here. The proposed mini storage facility will be comprised of 7 buildings totaling approximately 87,000 square feet of enclosed and partially enclosed storage space. The site includes an administrative office towards the front of the complex and 1 residential unit for around-the-clock on-site management. All proposed buildings are situated near the perimeter of the property with solid walls tying each building together, creating a secure perimeter. The property will be gated and monitored using the latest video surveillance technology. Access to the site will be from West Market Street and is proposed by 2 existing driveways. An NCDOT driveway approval permit will be required for the site plan, and ADA accessible sidewalks will be required. Utilities exist within the right-of-way of West Market Street, including a 12-inch gravity sewer and a 12-inch water main, and Duke Progress will be the power provider out there in that location. And a stormwater facility is not shown on the plan. I believe it's in your packet, but after the comments by the planning board, additional information has been prepared, and we have another site plan that we will give you showing stormwater management facilities. If it is determined that more than 1/2 acre of additional impervious surfaces are added to the site, a stormwater management facility will be required. Landscape yards are shown on the plan and include a 15-foot street yard, 8-foot side yard transitions, and a 35-foot landscape planted buffer to the rear of the facility. There does not appear to be any environmentally sensitive areas on the property under consideration tonight. The zoning to the north is B3 commercial, which is the Food Line Shopping Center. To the south, it is a combination of B3 business and R20A residential, as well as the actual uses there are B3 commercial and O&I vacant land and Sunset Cemetery. To the east, the zoning is B3 business and R20A residential, and the use is commercial and single-family residential. To the west, the zoning is O&I office and institutional, and the existing use is the Harbor House. The proposed mini storage facility is consistent with the recommendations of the Comprehensive Growth Management Plan, which calls for commercial uses near the intersection of West Market Street and Wilson Mills Road. A mini storage facility facility is a permitted use within the B3 district with a valid conditional use permit. All applicable development regulations to include parking, access, landscaping, and stormwater regulations can be met prior to the site plan approval and issuance of a valid zoning permit. A mini-storage facility is also, the mini-storage facility at this location should not pose a compatibility use with the surrounding land uses, providing required on-site parking is constructed and required landscaping and buffers are installed. Signs, the proposed mini-storage facility will qualify for wall signs and ground signs on the West Market Street side of the property. High-rise signs are not permitted, and the applicant has agreed to remove the old Wendy's high-rise sign. Fire protection will be by the town of Smithfield. There should not be any impacts on the schools and the Parks and Recreation Department. Access to the street will be via West Market Street through the two existing driveways. Water and sewer provider will be the town of Smithfield, and electrical provider will be Duke Progress. The planning department's recommendations have grown from the comments that came from the planning board recommendations, and all relate to stormwater. I will read those, but basically they have agreed to comply with these requests. The planning department agrees with the need for the stormwater management facility. The planning department agrees with the methodology of the stormwater management facility's design, but disagrees with the adjusting of the Q10 pre by a factor of 1.8. This is a standard practice in some cities like the city of Raleigh, but not by our ordinance. The planning department recommends that the stormwater management facility should use the actual Q10 pre-size to size of the detention facility. The planning department recommends that all stormwater from the ample storage site and the remainder of the undeveloped property be directed to one stormwater management facility that will serve both parcels of land. The proposed stormwater management facility should be designed in such a manner that the second parcel could be developed to a maximum of 70%. In the plan that the applicant will be giving you, they have done that, except that instead of one facility, it's actually going to be in two now. And the reason for this is that so in the future, when that parcel is developed, that we know how to handle the stormwater and where it's going to go and how much. The stormwater discharge from the stormwater management facility should be discharged into the existing conveyance system and directed in such a manner as to drain toward the existing 48-inch pipe under Skyland Drive at the northwest corner of the Harbor House property. No stormwater is to be directed toward the 15-inch pipe located in the southwest corner of the Harbor House property. There is a number of different courses that the water could pursue there, and we just want to make sure that when it's discharged, it's going toward that 48-inch pipe, because they have provided calculations, as well as our engineer has checked it, and the 48 is adequate to carry the water that goes through there. So that's why we're saying to direct it toward that pipe. The planning board recommends approval of the request for a conditional use permit to allow for the mini storage on the land located within the B3 zoning district, with the condition that soils analysis is permitted for review, and that the project constructs a stormwater management facility if determined to be required. That study was accomplished by the by the applicant, and they have provided the design for the stormwater management facility. The town council is now requested to review the petition for a mini storage facility on the property and make a decision in accordance with the finding of fact that's in your packet. You will find the application and supporting maps on your packet, and I stand open for questions.
Thank you, Mr. Ambler. First of all, I'd like to apologize to the council for being late this evening. Pro Tem. Ashley, thank you for starting the meeting. I think the applicant is here. Do you have any other additional information that you would like to share at this time? I wasn't here, has been duly sworn?
Yes, sir.
Before I start, I would like to take time to thank staff where they held firm in the interest of the city and the neighbors there, and they did hold firm. They were very, very respondent to my questions, and they answered me honestly and forwardly, and that's all a developer can ask when he comes in a community, is that level of cooperation, and I would like to thank staff. Everybody was professional. Like he had said, I was forwarded a copy of the conditions in his recommendations so that I could have some time to prepare a response to it, and I appreciate that. And we had our engineer to draw up our proposal for accommodating those conditions, and if it's permissible, I would like to hand those out now. Sure. Can I approach?
Yes, sir.
For those of you that are accustomed to reading this, and I will explain what I need to.
We'll probably be all night.
Thank you.
Good idea.
And also, if you don't mind, if you will, please state your name also for the record. Just for the
I'm
record.
Terry Weathington, I'm representing Ample Storage. Okay, on your drawing, you see your area orienting north. If you look on the west side of the property, which is the property line that abuts the Harbor House, that was the area of concern for staff. You'll see that if you look at the original subdivision proposed, you see that we've created the area that includes our detention pond. Is that clear to everybody? Do I need to point it out some way? You'll see that we moved that lot line over to take in that back corner of the lot, the west corner of that second lot. We also, in achieving our plantings, or the 35-foot setback, we had to put a swale all the way along that west property line. Can everybody see that? Right adjacent to the property line, running all the way to the north, that's a swale that will carry the outflow from that detention pond in the direction that staff has indicated that we must go to that north property line, which is the food line, shopping center property line. Then turn immediately to the left and head in its natural course through that large culvert that staff indicated that it needs to go. To do that, we had to chop 25 feet off the back two buildings, but that's what we had to do. Our engineer said that was the only way to accommodate it and do what staff wanted done. Are there any questions on my drawing and in answer to the requirements from staff?
Tell me, engineering-wise, I see you've got the retention pond, but does that just, I know it holds water, but then does it just naturally dissipate and soak in the ground, or?
Some of all of it. Overflow will come out the end of if it fills up, say we have another catastrophic rain, it will fill up and it'll run out its outflow. There's nothing you can do about that. We size it though, so that it will hold a full discharge. I don't know, I'm not an engineer, so I don't know exactly what the time limit is on it, but it's required by state code and by your city ordinance. And also, you're a city engineer, I think it is, called our engineer with some further concerns that staff had about those requirements and what we were designing towards. And I got confirmation from our engineer today that they had spoken and she had answered his questions. So that's been beat thoroughly. We've been over it thoroughly.
My other question is, I know
Now, I don't hear well, I'm sorry.
you've recombined two lots into two different shaped lots.
That's correct.
I can't tell, and it's just me reading it, I see where it says lot 1, 5.05 acres, and it has lot 2, 1.98 acres, but I don't really see the lot lines. I mean, I see one line that's not a hash line, but it stops.
Okay, I think you're looking at the actual discharge pipes. Can I approach you and show you?
Absolutely. I was just wondering how the new lots looked.
Show me what you're talking about.
Well, it says you got lot 1,
Yes.
and you got lot 2.
Okay.
Where's the dividing line between the lots?
This is the dividing line.
Okay, but
The original proposed subdivision was straight back here. It went straight down here. Right. That's where you added. Heading from
it
east
says
to
new,
west.
it says new something, I just couldn't read it. I guess new property line,
That is.
PL. All
Yes,
right.
it is. I'm sorry. It's big
No,
as
that's
I can
fine.
print it.
Do you have future plans for lot 2?
We do not. Right now, the intention is to market.
That's it. Thank you.
But you see, and to explain to you, this was the area we have included in this lot now.
Yeah, I'm
To
with you.
accommodate the detention.
Well, that's the line I thought at first, but I thought maybe that's gonna be they're relocating power lines. I saw the PL. I thought it might have been power lines or something,
No.
property line.
Yes, sir.
Paul, when it floods over there, where does the water come from? Sure. Mr. Ember, when it floods over there, where does the water come? It does flood.
I can answer that.
But you can't.
The drainage basin includes a goodly portion of the shopping center as well as some of the roadway, and it comes through that property. And there's a number, when you exit that property and go into the property that the Harbor House is located on, there are a number of swells. The swell on the 210 side of the Harbor House is drained by a 15-inch pipe, which is not adequate to handle much water at all. There is a 48-inch pipe that was constructed under Skyline Drive that was sized at the time of the development to handle the water that's getting there. The drainage basin has not changed to that point. Our engineer reviewed their drawings and then did his own calculation, and it's confirmed that the pipe under Skyline Drive will handle the water, providing the discharge rate does not exceed the pre-Q10. In engineering terms, what that means is that the rain that happens before a 10-year event, during a 10-year event, has got to be detained, and it can't leave the property until such time that it's filled that basin up, and then it's going to come out of that property and go on the natural course down to the 48-inch pipe. It's going downhill. It's making its way to the rivers where it's going to. And so what the design has done is to say that during a normal rain event, based on the design criteria that's already existing in our stormwater pipe, ordinance, that it gets there and it's properly sized and the pipe will handle it. Now, when we get a major event rain like Matthew, basically every pipe we have in town is hydraulically loaded and they're not going to take what's designed to go into them. So major events, you can't really size for those. But the standard is a 10-year storm.
The Matthew flood, water came from this property.
This property, the Food Line property, the shopping center there, some came off of 70. We've got a delineated drainage basin of where that water comes from.
So greatly improved that, I suppose. Catch it.
It's going to detain a goodly portion of it when it comes through there. And that should help the downstream in the normal rain events tremendously.
Oh, this map that he handed to us, is this now part of our package? Has your staff reviewed this and approved this?
Yes, we've looked at, keep in mind, you're only approving the conditional use. We still have to go through the site plan review, finalization on this, and there'll be further refining of the engineering calculations and resubmittals, and we're going to continue to look at it. You're just approving the concept that's there happening, and during the planning board and staff's review, we had concerns based on what happened to Harbor House during Matthew, and we asked them to do additional study work. They did that, they complied with that, and that study work indicated the design that you see here.
Well, one of the reasons I asked the question was our package shows site data acreage of 4.31 acres. This shows 5.04. I understand why. And we need to reflect in our package, it's been adjusted from 4.31 acres to 5.04 acres. Correct?
You are only approving the ample storage site. The other property and a portion of that stormwater facility will only be constructed initially, and correct me if I'm wrong, Terry, to handle from the 4.1, and then as the other property is developed, it will be expanded, or did you go ahead and size
No,
it?
the pond is sized to handle both according to your
Okay.
request. The pond is already sized and designed to carry that properties. That second property will discharge into that pond until it's developed. But this pond is designed and sized to carry both properties. That's what was stated in the conditions.
So it doesn't matter whether it's 4.31 acres or 5.
They're only doing the conditional use on the 4.3, not the whole lot.
That, it is designed to handle both lots, to answer your question.
No, that's not what I didn't ask that.
But the difference in the size is you have made the retention pond part, you've taken it out of lot 2 and made it part of lot 1.
I understand that. I just thought that for this public hearing is about this lot where all the building's gonna go, and I felt like it should reflect being 5.04 acres instead of 4 point whatever it is. But whatever.
If while I'm up here, if you have any questions or concerns about the operation of the facility itself, now would be a good time to ask those, because I'm qualified to answer those. And I'm not gonna beat to death and do a commercial for ample storage, because Paul, he did a good job of presenting what we're going to build. Probably the only thing that I would add to it, I don't know if you received a color photograph of what we propose to build. That color photograph is a copy of our 10th Street in Greenville, one of our newest facilities. And that's the architectural elements that we will use on this facility. Brick and glass storefront on the road front sides, and 30 feet down each side, and then it'll repose to the metal building, a matching metal.
What are your operating hours for this facility?
Sir,
Operating hours for the facility?
I'm sorry, I cannot hear you.
What are the operating hours?
Oh, operating hours, the office hours tend to run, and they vary from facility to facility and from season to season, but typically we keep them open from 8 until 6. The gate operates from 6 o'clock in the morning until 10 o'clock at night, and then it locks down. Nobody in or out, except we do have some commercial tenants and municipalities, a lot of fire departments and police departments rent from our facilities because of our security elements. And we will have, let's see, what would be a good commercial tenant? The Tom's food truck. He'll store inventory there, come in there early in the morning, pick up his stuff and hit his route. Something like that. They really got to have a good reason for us to give them any hours other than 6 in the morning until 10 at night. And the manager, as he said, does live in an apartment on site, so we enforce our rules. We're very strict about that.
Are there any, well, first of all, other than the information that you presented, do you agree with the testimony that Mr.
Yes, sir.
Hemmer presented?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak for or against this? Seeing none, do I have a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Okay. Gentlemen, you have the findings of fact on page 13. We can go through those if you have, or you can make a motion to approve them all, or if you have other questions that you would like to ask Mr. Embler at this time. It's your pleasure.
I do want to ask Mr. Ember a question. I realize we're approving the concept. But part of the concept is dividing or keeping two separately defined lots that their shape is changing. As it currently sits before the planning staff, do you see any issues with the Lot 2 that we would have to address in the future? Is Lot 2 a conforming lot in all respects and topography?
The lot does meet the minimum square footage of a lot, greatly exceeds it, matter of fact. It meets the frontage requirement of accessibility to the US 70, providing the fact that the building setback line, it has to maintain a width of 125 feet, which they could construct a building further back in the property and meet the 125 feet requirement. And so it is a buildable lot by standard that are established in Article 10 of the UDO. And it would be, as done, a minor subdivision, which is administratively approved subdivision, providing that there's water and sewer and access to a public street, and it has all that.
I move we approve findings of fact with the, well, we can add that. I want the condition in there that the stormwater be addressed as well. So I move we approve findings of fact 1 through 4 with the condition that the stormwater systems discussed are part of it.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
It does to me. What you're saying is that as far as your approval is the ample storage plus the stormwater to support the storage and the adjacent lot. Is that correct? Okay.
That's finding of fact. You left out 5 and 6, so you had them too. Oh, okay.
On 4.
Okay, that's the, okay.
Yeah, it's just 4 here. So I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. All opposed? Motion carries. I'll now entertain a motion to approve or deny the conditional use permit.
I move we approve it on the condition that the stormwater facility be a part of it, that covers lots 1 and lots 2.
Second. Have a motion. Do I have a second? Oh, sorry. Have a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Ambler.
Now we'll move on to citizens' comments. Anyone would like to speak, please come forward at this time. Yes, ma'am. If you will come up to the microphone here and please state your name and address for the record, please.
Hello, my name is Darcy Igloni, and I come from a special event Outdoor Music from Mission, Mexico, and all I wanted to say was that on the back it says here that it will be presented on May 5th from 5 o'clock p.m. to 10 o'clock p.m. I just wanted to say that due to the weather conditions of Friday, we're now to change it to the 6th, which is going to be Saturday. Same time, same location.
Okay, so that's under the consent agenda items, number 3. The special event outdoor music. Does anyone have any issues with that, moving that till 6, beginning at 6 o'clock? Is that correct?
Yes.
Anyone have any issues there?
So it's going to be starting at May 6th at 6 o'clock.
May 6th at 6 o'clock, right? Is that the next day? Okay.
Yep. All right. Thank you.
Did you get her name? I'm sorry, Madam Clerk. Can you just give her your name? Thank you very much. Anyone else like to speak on citizens' comments? Okay. Seeing none, we'll move on to the consent agenda. I have a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
A motion and a second. Mayor Pro Tem Ashley, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Now we'll move on to business items. Page 81 is our first business item, consideration and approval to enter into an agreement with the North Carolina Department of Natural and Cultural Resources for the Connect NC Bond Grant for the Miracle Inclusion Playground. Turn it over to Gary.
Mayor, Council, in September of 2016, I came before you to request authorization to apply for the Connect NC Bond Grant monies that was made available by the General Assembly for disabled children and disabled veterans. It coincided with the project that we were doing at the park already, the Partnership to Build a Miracle. We found out in March that we had won the grant. It's a $160,000 grant with a $40,000 match. The council agreed at the time to provide $30,000 towards the match, and the Partnership for Children would provide the other $10,000. So I'm coming before you tonight to request authorization to execute the grant and to adopt Resolution 602.
Gentlemen?
I move we approve the request.
Second. We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Thank you, sir. Next item of business on page 93 of your agenda is consideration and approval to enter into an agreement with NCDOT for the conversion of traffic signals in the town of Smithfield. Ted, turn it over to you, sir.
Thank you.
Nice haircut.
Thank you, sir. It's been
Looking
a while,
sharp.
but thank you anyway. Appreciate that.
You didn't get a haircut?
No, sir.
Oh, well, it looks
But
like you did. Sorry. Looking nice tonight,
It
Ted.
matches my sparkling personality, so thank you.
Well, you got one at some point, right?
Thank you. Yes, I would. Gentlemen, I come before you tonight, just kind of refresh the situation. Last September, or during the Hurricane Matthew in October, rather, we noticed we had an outage throughout town. And the idea came that we could convert some critical stoplights around town to be run on generator. In order to do this, we have to make adjustments electrically and with the signals to the NCDOT run lights. And in order to do that, we have to enter into a contract that says, you know, if we make a mistake, we'll fix it. It's a pretty standard contract, but part of that is a $2,500 fee that we have to pay as an agreement. And I believe I brought this back to you in February, and it was tabled at that time. And I'm just here to ask for further direction, if you want to pursue this, or if you'd rather just kill it, or what other direction you might give. And that's my purpose here this evening.
Okay. Any questions, Ted?
We've talked about this before. It's been quite a bit of time. How beneficial it would be. Make a motion, we approve the request.
Second. I have a motion and a second to approve. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Okay. Moving on to business item number 3, consideration and approval for sidewalks on Bookadary Road between Buffalo Road and Bradford Street, and adoption of resolution number 603. Turn it over to the manager, Mr. Scott.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. On September 1st of 2015, Town Council enacted a resolution to enter into agreement with NCDOT to place sidewalks along the Bookadary Road project as pictured here. As you all are aware, we're embarking on a time when construction is imminent. Probably within the next year, we should see ground being broken. I know our utilities are going to be moved prior to that time. In a discussion with NCDOT, we discussed priorities as to where the sidewalks might be placed. Our priority 1 was right here in this yellow section, which runs from Buffalo Road up to Bradford Street, right here. Priority 2 being this area in pink here, and the blue area being priority 3, which would actually be development held installation of sidewalks. When DOT reviewed this map, they came back and said they would agree to place sidewalks in the priority 1 section because there'll be curb and gutter in that section. The other sections, they said they are not willing to enter into an agreement to place sidewalks there. Here in this yellow section, priority 1, you would have sidewalks on both sides of the street as opposed to just one side of the street at a total cost of about $186,800. With town of Smithfield paying 30% of that, the cost for us would be $56,040. So come before you tonight requesting that we approve a resolution to support the agreement with DOT to enter into this agreement and pay the $56,040 to place sidewalks on both sides of Booker Dairy Road from Buffalo to Bradford.
Any questions for Mr. Scott?
I would also add that this is not a current budget item. This will not be, we will not pay any of this money until the sidewalks are done and the road is open. So it'll be about a 2-year process before any money is due from the town. So we would have ample time to budget appropriately for this expense.
So just for clarification, this is only the yellow part indicated.
I'm sorry?
Just for clarification, you're talking about just the yellow part.
Just the yellow part. Yes, sir.
What if we wanted to do the other color, the purple or whatever pink that is?
Right now, more additional sidewalks are not in the plan. We would have to seek permission from DOT and we would have to pay the entire amount.
Because we discussed how important it was for those children that walk into those neighborhoods, not walking on the side of the road or in the ditch.
This does take you past the charter school and the high school, so at least we will have sidewalks up to that part, and up to Bradford Park.
So I'm assuming the sidewalks that currently exist on the recreation aquatic side is going to be tore up and this will be replaced then? Because there's already a sidewalk there.
That's a question I'd have to refer to Paul.
I think the DOT's intent that not stay there due to the grades that are associated with the track. It would probably be where the guardrail starts, that there would be a sidewalk section that would start there, and there would be some form of transition from what's there back up to the normal sidewalk section of DOT. That's a detail they'll have to get, but you would be able to use either the green one, the Parks sidewalk or the DOT's to get all the way on both sides.
The Shrike is included in this yellow section as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, there's already a sidewalk there.
Yeah, so there'll be sidewalks in that section on both sides.
Track is where?
The high school, let's see if I can see it here.
Is there.
The star is where the new signal's going to go.
Right, so right here's the high school and here's the new charter school. The Shrike is on this side.
So it does reach, well,
Does
Excuse
reach
me?
beyond the charter school and the high school.
reaches wide.
Yeah.
But it doesn't reach Camellia Drive.
In terms of development of the other properties along the third priority and the second priority, I mean, we could pass an ordinance that would require sidewalks for development, I guess.
We already have that ordinance. So if it's developed or redeveloped, we would require sidewalks.
And it was omitted because of this project for some of those developments out there. That's what I was told. That's why, isn't that right, Mr. Ember?
Sorry?
The sidewalks were omitted from some of the developments because this project was on the books. Is that not what we were told? For example, the news charter, they didn't put in sidewalks out there.
That's correct.
because this project would have tore them up.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that we approve Resolution 566, 16-2015, seeking assistance from North Carolina DOT for sidewalks on Booker Dairy Road.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
Well, I think it's Resolution 603.
It is 603.
We already passed 566,
Okay.
September 15th.
Stand corrected, you're right.
So the motion's amended to 603, right, Councilman Harris?
603, 08-2017.
We have a motion and a second to approve the sidewalks and resolution number 603. Yes.
We had a second.
We did.
Yeah.
We did.
Yep.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. I was just stating to correct 603.
I would state, this is not part of the motion, but as we go into this budget process and start looking at our fund balance, since we have effectively committed to spending this money this year, if we have it, we need to encumber it. So 2 years from now, we're not spending money that we obligated 2 years prior, but I think that's something I'll look at.
Well taken.
Okay. At this point, that concludes our business items. We'll move into councilman's comments.
Mr. Mayor, just real quick, over the weekend, I had a chance to take part in the second annual Annie D. Jones Child Enrichment Fund 3K Walk. And in the audience tonight is her granddaughter, Ms. Carice McDuffie, who's over the last few years have been spearheading this enrichment fund. Of course, this fund, it definitely reaches out to some of the kids over in the East Smithfield area to be able to participate in parks and rec and other activities that we have throughout Smithfield. So I know she lives in Maryland, but she's home, and so I just wanted to kind of congratulate her on another second annual walk that was held Saturday morning.
Congratulations. Thank you for joining us this evening.
Mayor, I'd just like to remind everybody that downtown development is putting on the Ham and Yam this weekend, and if everybody can, please come out this Saturday. It's going to be a great event.
Definitely, definitely. Anyone else?
By the way, on that subject, do you still need help?
We do, we still need volunteers with our
They need help staffing the booth. I know Shannon and I have found out we're working from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. their booth, sell drinks or whatever it is they're doing down there. But I know they needed people from 3 to 5 or 5 to 7. If you have any time to volunteer, it would be helpful for them.
Anyone else? Would like to congratulate the manager. I think today is his 1-year anniversary as being our city manager. So congratulations for making it through 1 year, Mr. Scott. You've done a fine job.
Thank you.
Very fine job. And also, I did want to congratulate you. This past Friday, he satisfied his obligation under our agreement with him. He successfully graduated from the municipal and county administrative course offered by the North Carolina School of Government. So also, congratulations on that as well. That's all that I have. I'll turn it over to you for your report, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just have a few things tonight. I want to touch base on Venture Drive. Turner Asphalt will be completing pre-construction work in the coming days, and milling should start Sunday night, about 8 p.m., and they will continue milling throughout the night in order to get as much done in the off-hour business hours as they can. Lenny Branch done a good job of advising the different businesses in the area of that, so they should make the necessary adjustments for that. So Venture Drive will have some construction on it beginning on Sunday night. That will last for a couple of weeks until the project is completed, hopefully by mid-June, probably before then. The Inclusion Park also, the contract has been signed and is underway there. We should be seeing dirt actually turning in the Inclusion Park within the next week to 10 days. So you should see equipment out there soon, and we should get that project. It's been a long-time project, an important project. We're doing it the right way, and excited to see that get going. Also, our street resurfacing project should be underway in about 2 weeks. So you will be seeing contractors out resurfacing the streets that have been marked up. They'll begin again in about 2 weeks, and they should be done by the end of June. State Wildlife Resources was here earlier this week, looking at the boat ramp and beginning construction on the new boat ramp. Unfortunately, the water is too high for them to start right now. So we have seen some water being released from Falls Lake. That's going to keep the water up for a little while. Once that goes down, hopefully we can begin the construction phase of the new boat ramp. I'd also like to mention that the police department has Coffee with a Cop scheduled at Gotham's Restaurant on Market Street Thursday, May 18th from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. So stop into Gotham's on Thursday the 18th and get yourself a free cup of coffee and support your local police department. I have one more item, Mr. Mayor.
Sure.
It is with some regret tonight that I announced the pending retirement of the town's planning director, Paul Embler. Paul's been a member of the town staff for 14 years. Paul's retirement is tentatively scheduled for July 1st, 2017. This has been a process Paul's been discussing with our human resource director for some time, especially since the completion of his mountain cottage, where he and his wife intend to spend much of their retirement time relaxing and enjoying a more relaxed mountain lifestyle. When Paul and I had discussed his decision, I think Paul was more concerned with his work and his responsibilities to town than for himself and what lies ahead for he and his family. Through the year, Paul has been a dedicated servant to the town, which is evidenced by his foresight and signature that endorses each conceptual plan, site plan, and developmental plan that has taken place during nearly the last decade and a half. I would like to thank him publicly for his dedication and hard work, as well as his service to the town. I am pleased that Paul is staying on through the budget process so the town can continue moving forward, continue carrying the torch that so brightly lights our way to the future of our economic and residential development as the county seat of Johnson County. Thank you, Paul, for your years of service, and look forward to continue working with you. That's all I have.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you,
Paul, we
Mr.
need a
Ambler,
speech.
for your, yeah, you ready for a speech? All right, we'll give him a little time, right, unless he wants to talk. But no, definitely thank you for your professionalism and all your service to the town.
You will continue working with the UDO committee, won't you?
We can appoint him, right?
The schedule that you so graciously set will finish us for July 1st, so I think we're on task.
Good.
Thank you. That'd be great. Also, I did want to just take this opportunity, privilege to see out in the audience a former council member, Mr. Harold Tharrington from West Smithfield, and his wife. Welcome this evening. Thank you guys for coming out. Any other business? I think we do need to go into a closed session. Do we have any other?
Do you want to schedule your budget workshop?
Yeah, why don't we talk about we got our next budget session. You guys want to go ahead and decide on a date for that, so that then after we come out of closed session, we can just recess to that time, certain?
What you thinking?
It's up to you guys.
Next week?
Wednesday, May 10th.
Wednesday, May 10th, fine.
We have UDO meetings on the 9th, 11th, 16th, and 23rd.
Those meetings are over fairly early, though, aren't they?
Try to get all we can.
I will tell you that the chair of the committee made it a requirement that everybody come prepared. And we're gonna get down to brass tacks, and we're not gonna meet all hours of the night, because we're gonna be prepared. We are limiting those meetings in time. Yes, sir, you're right.
May 10th, does that work?
About the 8th on Monday. What is, mean?
He said,
I don't, either one's fine. Here Monday. Huh?
I mean, I know I won't be here Monday night. Why don't we get, how about
About
the
the
10th?
10th.
The night?
I will be here Monday night. Hey, I will be here Monday night, never mind.
what was wrong with the 10th?
It's Wednesday night.
Yes, it is.
So, yea or no? 10th?
I'm fine with any of them, so.
6:30?
What time?
Here?
6:30?
Am I here in the 10th?
10th, 6:30 here?
Yes, sir.
Is that okay with
Is that
staff?
okay?
Everybody can be here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it okay with staff?
It's a date.
All right, so we will.
Wait a minute, we have a start time, do we have an end time?
6:30 the next one.
Exactly. So when we come out of closed session, we'll recess to that date, just so everyone knows.
I would also. Sure. I'd also add that all of our budget sessions will be posted on our website, on the front page. And we also have them posted out here on the bulletin board. So anyone who wishes to attend those are public meetings. You can follow those meeting dates from one to the other, either on our website or by stopping in here in Town Hall, or you can always call our clerk who can advise you of those meeting dates.
Okay. Thank you, sir. At this time, do I have a motion?
No.
Sir?
Does he have the numbers for the closed session?
Yes.
I move we go into closed session pursuant to North Carolina General Statute 143-318.11, little a6, to discuss a personnel matter.
Okay. Second. I have a motion and a second to go into closed session. All in favor say aye. Aye. Okay, go into closed session at this time.